Now at 10, crews in southwest Missouri battle a pair of fires during an elevated fire risk day. Plus, the latest on a bill that could cut millions of dollars in Missouri taxes. And a beloved children's book character brings a love of reading to some kids in Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities in Montgomery County, Kansas filed murder charges in connection with the death of a Coffeyville man. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Michael McGinnis Jr. of Liberty, Kansas, and William McGinnis of South Coffeyville, Oklahoma, are both now charged with first-degree murder. They're accused of the premeditated death of 39-year-old Raymond Burnett. Police found the victim with a gunshot wound at a Coffeyville, Kansas home on February 3rd. He later died at the hospital. If convicted, both men could face life imprisonment with no chance of parole for 50 years. Some southwest Missouri firefighters had a busy day today on this elevated fire risk day. East of Neosho, Missouri, a tire fire created a plume of smoke visible for many miles. This was at Used Tire Wholesale near the intersection of Highway 86 and Highway 60. While the fire is under control and not spreading, crews are still monitoring for hotspots. There are no reports of injuries and no word on the cause of this fire. And a wildland fire in the Carthage area burned for hours before crews managed to finally get it out this afternoon. It swept through about 60 acres of grassland and brush. Investigators think it started as a controlled fire that grew out of control. We have no reports of injuries and no buildings are damaged. We could use some rain to reduce the fire risk. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
We could use a little bit of rain, but that's the problem. We're just going to get very, very minor amounts of rain as we go through the overnight hours tonight. All right, temperature is good today, pretty close to where we should be. 57, started cold, 27 degrees, and most of us now are sitting low to mid 40s across the region. But you can see this batch of rain, which is pushing through, and we have been getting a little bit of light sleet, light snow that has been mixing in. Most of this that has reached the ground has mainly been along and south of I-44, but some light sleet, light rain, light snow kind of mixing in. Not a big deal. This is going to continue to push off toward the north and to the east as we go through the next several hours. So for us tonight, on and off, very light wintry mix. Temperatures are well above freezing, so it's not a big deal. Eventually, we'll drop back to about 37 degrees later on tonight. We're going to look into the weekend coming up here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. Missouri residents could see a roughly $138 million tax break under legislation passed today by the House. The bill is an attempt to offset a recent surge in local tax collections caused by higher vehicle values. State Rep. Mike McGurl said the bill would return to taxpayers about a quarter of the windfall that local governments received from the surge in vehicle values. That return would be effective in 2026. State Rep. Peter Meredith, who opposed the measure, said the bill would, quote, ultimately mean less tax revenue for our schools and for public safety. The bill now heads to the Senate. Early voting for Oklahoma's March 5th presidential preference primary begins this week. Voters in Oklahoma, in Ottawa County specifically, can go to the community room at the courthouse annex to cast their votes tomorrow from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. and Saturday from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. High schoolers from all across the area gathered at Pitt State's Irene Ransom Bradley School of Nursing. About 170 high school students got to attend today's event and tour the facility. High schoolers engaged with 40 nursing students at the PSU School of Nursing. They got to learn CPR, how to administer vaccines, and participate in the simulation hospital. Pitt State students say it's great to see so many students interested in the field as our nation is suffering from a nursing shortage.
I hope that it gets them excited about nursing and gets them, kind of thinking towards the nursing path because they're starting to pick what colleges they want to go to and what careers they want to do. Nursing needs more help than ever right now.
The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that more than 275,000 additional nurses will be needed by 2030. The Carthage Humane Society has a new roof, and every dog needs a roof. It comes thanks to a fundraising effort between the community, Steadley Trust, and Ridgeline Roofing. The old roof had been damaged and was leaking, making the shelter unable to accept stray dogs from the city. Because of community support, Ridgeline Roofing offered to repair the roof free of charge, meaning the money raised could fix the structural damage from the leaks. Despite the progress, there's still some work to do.
And so I talked to a very good colleague of mine and friend, Sally Stewart, about rallying the people that we know in the community, including the Boylan Foundation, and many, many generous individuals. And the next day, we already had half the money raised that we were looking to.
The Humane Society is at 13860 Dog Kennel Lane in Carthage. Wasn't a dog, but the Freeman Learning Center had a special visitor. The Cat in the Hat showed up to help Freeman executives read 3 of their favorite Dr. Seuss classic stories to excited children. The hope for organizers was to foster a love of reading that'll last a lifetime.
More importantly, that we do want to interact with them, and also that reading is fun and you can do things with it that you may not do otherwise. A lot of times we kind of get complacent and everything's fed to us on a video stream or TikTok or something, but the imagination that gets spurned with a book, you just can't replace that.
Freeman Health System and Ozarks Public Television teamed up for the event, which helps promote reading skills and develop the kids' love of reading. If it's Thursday, it must be time for Thunder Thursday. John takes a look back with one of the hottest teams in the NBA. That's coming up later in sports. Plus, the Texas Panhandle burns under a wildfire that's destroyed more than 1 million acres and taken 1 life.
Full morning, Scotty.
5 a.m.
A wildfire in the Texas Panhandle has already burned more than 1 million acres. An 83-year-old grandmother was killed. Homes and businesses have been destroyed and thousands of cattle are likely dead. Jason Allen has the latest.
In the Texas Panhandle, first responders drove through an inferno of smoke and flames to battle the biggest wildfire in the state's history. As the Smokehouse Creek fire raged out of control, it left a trail of destruction.
I run to the door and I see it looked like Armageddon. It looked like the end of the world. It's heartbreaking, not just for me and my family, but all the other families that have lost.
Scott McBroom fled his home to escape the fast approaching flames, but when he returned, he found only ruins.
Everything that we had, personal mementos, everything we had.
Here in the small town of Fritch, residents saw hundreds of homes burn in wildfires in 2014. Now they are seeing dozens more burn in this week's wildfires. Tyler McCain, his wife, and their 3 young daughters found their house burned to the ground.
Well, it was here and then it wasn't. Everything happened really quick.
Jason Wilhelm is already clearing the remains of his home in Canadian Texas. Among the charred trees is the debris of his children's sandbox. His wife grabbed what she could before evacuating.
She got a bunch of pictures. She got some money that we had saved up, and just a lot of sentimental things.
Snow and lower temperatures finally helped slow the Smokehouse Creek fire's explosive growth, but officials say it still poses a threat. Jason Allen, CBS News, Fritch, Texas.
Still not clear just what sparked that wildfire and several others burning in that region. As of this afternoon, fire officials said the Smokehouse Creek fire was only about 3% contained. South of the Kansas City area, video of a police procession leaving the hospital after a court employee and a police officer were fatally shot today after the court process server tried to serve an eviction notice at a home in Independence, Missouri. Police say a second officer was critically injured but is expected to live. Independence, Missouri police say 2 officers were met with gunfire while coming to the aid of Drexel Mack. That's the man who had been trying to serve the eviction notice. Authorities say the officers had responded to a 911 call reporting that Mack was shot. They also identified the officer killed as Cody Allen.
We are devastated for the loss that we as a court have suffered. We are so grateful for Independence police officers being there as quickly as they could be and providing the services that they can provide.
Officer Allen is a hero. He did exactly what the men and women of law enforcement are called to do day in and day out. And I could not be more proud of him and his service to this community.
Authorities say a man suspected in that shooting had minor injuries and is in custody. A little bit later, the Fort Scott Chamber of Commerce opens the doors on a brand fine new arts exhibit.
Plus, some light showers rotating through for us right now. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, not a bad Thursday for us today. We had quite a bit of sunshine, especially during the morning hours, and temperatures warmer than what we saw yesterday. But we have been getting some light rain, light snow, and sleet across portions of the area, especially along and south of I-44, kind of mixing in. You can actually, if you look real closely on our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, I just pulled this tower cam up, but if you look under lights, you can see the snow that is coming down on the left side of your screen. So we do have some snow and light rain and a little bit of sleet out there again, but temperatures are in the 40s. It doesn't have to be below freezing to get sleet or snow. All that matters is what's the temperature 1,000, 2,000 feet up. All right, so here goes this band, not much north of I-44. South of I-44, that's where most of the action has been. See the blue, which is kicking in, so that's where we're seeing that snow, which is being picked up at Indigo. In the green, we are mainly seeing a rain and sleet mix. So still some light rain, light sleet, east side of Joplin up toward Carthage, most likely not hitting the ground once you get up toward Lamar. We are getting a rain, sleet mix, Mount Vernon, Monette, down toward Cassville, and then you can see it picks it up this dark blue. That is wet snow that is coming down. Of course, it's not sticking, but this goes from Cassville, Pineville, Anderson, down into Benton County, Neosho, and then moving out of Seneca at this time. Still a few rain and snow showers back across Ottawa and also Delaware County on the Oklahoma side. Again, not a big deal, but it is shifting through, and we're going to see this over the next couple hours. Periods of some light rain, light snow across the region. Most of this on the Missouri side gone here in a few hours, and then we look pretty good. Additional rainfall amounts, very light, under 1/10 of an inch, but we will take whatever we can get across the region. But look at this. So our temperatures are in the 40s, so you can see we had that snow, Neosho, Anderson, over toward Cassville, but temperatures are into the 40s, so it's fairly warm. Outside 7th and Rangeline, the roads are wet, but looking like just some very light showers, sitting at 43 degrees. And this weak system, we would have gotten more out of it if the lower levels of the atmosphere weren't as dry today. Of course, that's why we've had the fire danger. But if those were a little bit more saturated, we would have gotten a lot more from the system. But it's going to swing on by, get a break. Here's our next system, which will start to affect us as we head into early next week. All right, by morning, we're going to be clear. Sunshine tomorrow, especially in the afternoon. Lower 50s by noon. We'll get up near 60 during the afternoon, which is pretty good. Saturday morning, we'll stop here at about 6 a.m., lower 40s. Check out Saturday afternoon. It's hard to beat. Into the mid 70s for afternoon highs. Day planner for you Friday, 37 to start. Sunshine in the afternoon. High temp, 59 degrees. 75 Saturday, 80 on Sunday. So we're getting snow in some spots. And we set a record high of 83 2 days ago, and we're back to 80 in 3 days. So Mother Nature, she's very confused this week.
Bounced pretty dramatically, low and then back high in a couple of days.
It's crazy.
I guess. Thanks, Doug. Hey, Fort Scott's home to a new art exhibit. The Chamber of Commerce today hosted an artist reception for the new Bourbon County Arts Council Fine Arts exhibit. All of the work comes from local artists and is set up at the Ellis Fine Arts Center at Fort Scott Community College.
We're from a rural area. I see a lot of animals. I see a lot of flowers and landscape, a lot of organic things. And I think it's just, you get a really sense of handmade, creative, working with your hands kind of aspect. So the inspiration, I would say, just kind of area.
That exhibit is going to be open through March 9th. You can check it out from noon to 7 p.m. every day. Still ahead, Southeast and Colgan girls basketball try to punch their tickets to the sub-state championship. John Dales has highlights from those games and a lot more is coming up next.
24/7.
It's another Thunder Thursday, so let's take a look at the past week for OKC, who remains one of the hottest teams in the NBA. The Thunder in action tonight, taking on the last place Spurs. Now, they actually lose that game by 14 points, which snaps a 6-game winning streak. Before tonight, the Thunder had gotten a 2-game sweep of the Rockets. They beat them first in Houston, then in Oklahoma City. Their recent winning ways have given the Thunder a game lead over third-place Nuggets. That's even after losing tonight, and slides them 1 game behind the 1-seed Minnesota. Now, your next chance to watch the Thunder on our airwaves is next Friday. That's when OKC plays host to the defending Eastern Conference champion Miami Heat. That game tips off 7 o'clock next Friday. As always, we begin our coverage with the Thunder pregame show at 6:30 that night. Switching gears to Kansas high school basketball, the Colgan girls team enters the night undefeated, 2 wins away from returning to the Class 2A state tournament. Colgan trying to stay unbeaten. Girls team faces the Dexter Spartans. Opening minutes of the contest, 3-pointer off the mark, but Lily Brown gets the rebound and scores the easy second chance bucket. Next possession, same story. Brown underneath the basket, uses her height to her advantage. Later in the half, Brown again continuing to score inside. She finishes the night scoring 18 points for the Lady Panthers. Second half, after a missed shot, loose ball, Holly Swayze gets the rebound and the putback, count it, plus the foul. Colgan in full control tonight. To the fourth quarter, Lauren O'Brien gets the steal. She's going to go coast to coast and finish the layup, plus the foul. Then closing the game out, Jaquela Davis knocks down the jumper. Colgan goes on to win easily, 63-15. The Panthers advance to the sub-state title game on Saturday. Second game of the night, the host team, Southeast, takes on the visitors from West Elk. First quarter of this one, Kinsey Cassidy fights for the ball, gets a nice friendly bounce on her shot. Southeast leads by 2, but West Elk keeping it close all night. Bria McGee intercepts the pass, goes all the way on the other end to score the layup. We head to the second quarter. Tegan Wagner takes the 3 from the corner and drains it, but West Elk leads by 3 at halftime. Early in the second half, 3-point shot, no good, but Charlie Gideon gets the rebound and put back on one leg. Tough shot, but Southeast still down by 2 a few possessions later. That's Cameron Sanders burying the 3 from the corner to tie the game. Southeast goes on to win it, 39-32. Colgan and Southeast will play each other on Saturday. The winner advances to state. Here are a few more playoff basketball scores from across the area. Boys Class 3A sub-state tournament in Caney Valley. Girard beats Galena, and Riverton takes down Frontenac. The Trojans and Rams will meet in the title game on Saturday. Over to Southwest Missouri, Boys Class 4 District 12 tournament. Top 2 seeds will meet in the district championship Saturday afternoon. Seneca and Aurora both win big in their semifinal games tonight. Then to the Boys Class 5 District 7 tournament. Quarterfinal round tonight. Carl Junction's season comes to an end with a 69-32 loss, but Webb City wins it by 10. Cardinals and Blue Jays meet in the semifinals on Saturday. And one more basketball score for us down in Oklahoma. Fairland boys basketball wins in the area quarterfinals. They're 2 wins away from going to state.
Wow, we'll see how they do. Good luck to them. We'll be right back. Before we go, we're going to take a moment to tell you about an unsung hero. Her name is Stephanie Marsh, there she is, and for years she's been the assignments editor for KOAM News. She's held other roles too. She's been a news assistant, a producer, but assignments editor might be the most difficult and least appreciated job in all of news, certainly in our newsroom. Among other things, she's the driving force in determining what stories are covered and how and by whom. She gets the photographers here, she gets the reporters there. She's the air traffic controller who keeps the planes on schedule without crashing into each other. Frequently, she's also our shield. Sometimes, when necessary, she's the point of a spear. Stephanie, or Smarsh as I like to call her, is also a friend, a good friend, has been for a long time. So although I'm going to miss her, I'm going to wish her well as she leaves KOAM to pursue other dreams. I should mention that this unsung hero can also sing beautifully, far better than I ever will, certainly. The best I can do is sing her praises and tell her thanks for everything. Great picture there of Stephanie Marsh Smarsh.
We're gonna miss her.
Yeah, I've gotten to listen to her on the phone over the years and her interactions with the public and with reporters, and my goodness, she has a way of getting things done, getting to the story and getting things set up, and we will miss her indeed. The weather is going to be warming up eventually.
Yeah, we're dealing with the light rain showers mixed in with a little bit of light sleet and snow tonight, which is going to be out of here soon. Tomorrow, pretty good day. Pretty good Friday. It's Friday. Any Friday's good. Near 60 tomorrow, 75 Saturday, up to 80 on Sunday.
Final sports note.
For high school basketball playoffs tomorrow, we're going to be at a couple of district championships and sub-state championships. We're excited for it.
Terrific. Thanks for joining us. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.